What are the basic lines of inquiry in arson investigation? The arson investigator must have to inquire on the following: A. Point of origin of fire. B. Motives of arsonist. C. Prime suspects. Then D. The telltale sign of arson. First is the point of origin of fire. Initially, the important point to be established is the point of origin of fire. In other words, at what particular place in the building the fire started. This may be established by an examination of the witness, by an inspection of the debris of the fire scene, and by studying the fingerprint of fire. The fingerprint of fire occurs during the free burning stage. The free burning stage of fire, when pyrolytic decomposition moves upward in the walls, leaving a vent pattern. Witnesses must be questioned as to the following: First, his identity. Number 2, what attracted his attention. Number 3, time of observation. Number 4, his position in relation to the fire at the time of observation. 5, exact location of the blaze. 6, size and intensity. 7, rapidity of spread. 8, color of the flame and odor if he is in a position. And this, number 9, any other person in the vicinity beside the witness. Note fire setting mechanism. First, matches. 2, candles. Number 3, electrical system. Number 4, mechanical means. Number 5, chemical methods. Number 2, motive of arsonist, to understand the motives of arsonist. The arson investigator have the note of the following fires are set by the following persons of motives. A. Those with desire to defraud the insurer. B. Employees or such other person who have a grievance or the fire revenge. C. Those with the desire to conceal evidence of the crime. Then D. Those who set fire for purposes of intimidation. Then people without motives. A. Those who are mentally ill. B. Pathological fire setters. C. Fires and psychos. Motives of arsonists. Number 1, economic gain. B is the insurance fraud or the benefiting. C. Desire to dispose merchandise. Loss of market value, being out of season, lack of raw materials, over of supply of merchandise can be a big reason for an arson. Then the existing business transaction that the arsonist would like to avoid, such as impending liquidation, settlement of estate, need of cash, prospective business failure, and increased rentals. E. Profit by the perpetrator other than the assured, like insurance agents wishing businesses with the assured, business competitors planning to drive others, persons seeking job as personal protection, salvagers and contractors wishing to contact another building. Number 2, concealment of crime. It is with the purpose of hiding a crime or committing a crime. Arson was used as a means. Number 3, punitive measure. Committing arson to inflict injury to another due to hatred, jealousy, and revenge. Then number 4, intimidation of economic disabling. Arsonists as saboteurs, strikers, and racketeers to intimidate management or employer. Then number 5, pyromania. A pyromaniac having the uncontrollable impulse to burn anything without any motivation. They do not run away from the fire scene since the lab watches fire burning. Types of pyromania: abnormal youth, epileptics, imbecile, and morons. Then B, hero type. A person set a building on fire and pretends to discover it, turn on the alarm, or make some rescue works appear as a hero. Then C, the drug addicts and alcoholics. D, sexual deviates and perverts. Number 3, prime suspects and the prima facie evidences. The development of prime suspects. This involves identification results from the full development of leads, clues, and traces, the testimony, particularly eyewitnesses, and the development of expert testimony. The following technique may serve the investigation. First, search of the fire scene for physical evidence. A. Protection of the scene. B. Mechanics of search. C. Collection and preservation of evidences. D. Laboratory aids. Then number 2, background study of policyholders, occupants of premises, owner of building or other person having major entries in the fire. Number 3, interviews and interrogations of persons who discovered the fire and the one who turned the first alarm, firemen, and eyewitnesses. Number 4, surveillance. Then last, the telltale signs of arson. These signs may be obvious that the first fireman at the scene will suspect arson, or they may be so well concealed the modes of patient's investigation to show that it is set off will be required. Number 1, burn building. The type of the building may indicate as a set fire under certain circumstance. A fire of considerable size of that time, the first apparatus arrive at the scene is suspicious if it is a modern concrete or semi-concrete building. Number 2, separate fires. When 2 or more separate fire breaks out within a building, the fire is certainly suspicious. Then number 3, color of smoke. Some fire burn with little or no smoke, but they are exception. The observation of the smoke must be made at the start of the fire scene, since once the fire has assumed a major proportion, the value of the smoke is lost, because the smoke will not indicate the material used by the arsonist. A. When white smoke appears before the water from the fire hose comes in contact with the fire, it indicates humid material burning. Example, burning hay, vegetable materials, phosphorus with garlic odor. B. Biting smoke, irritating the nose and throat, causing lacrimation and coughing indicates presence of chlorine. C. Black smoke indicates lack of air if accompanied by large flames. It indicates petroleum products and rubber. D. Reddish brown smoke indicates nitricellulose S1, H2, SO4, NH03 or HCI. E. Meaning of color of smoke and fire. Black smoke with deep flame, petroleum products, tar, rubber, plastic, and etc. Heavy brown with bright red flame, nitrogen product. White smoke with bright flame, magnesium products. Black smoke with red and blue-green flame, asphalt. Purple violet flame, potassium products. Greenish yellow flame, chloride or manganese products. Bright reddish yellow flame, calcium products. Then number 8, color of flame. The color of the flame is a good indication of the intensity of fire, an important factor in determining incendiarism. 9. Amount of heat. A reddish glow indicates heat of 5,000 degrees centigrade. A real bright red about 100 degrees centigrade. Red flames indicate of petroleum. Blue flame indicates use of alcohol as accelerant. Number 10. Smoke marks. An experienced investigation will determine the volume of smoke involved at a fire and the character as residue deposited on walls or elsewhere. Smoke in marks have often been of assistance in determining the possibility of fire, having more than one place of origin. Number 11. Size of fire. This is important when correlated with the time of alarm, the time received, and the time of arrival of the first fire apparatus. Fires make what might be termed a normal progress. Such progress can be estimated after an examination of the material burned, the building, and the normal ventilation offered of the fire. The time element and the degree of headway by the flames become important factors to determine possible incendiarism. Number 12. Direction of travel. While it is admitted that no two fires burn in identical fashion, yet it can be shown that fire makes normal progress through various types of building materials, combustibility of contents, channel of ventilation, and circumstances surrounding the sounding of alarm. An experienced investigator can determine whether a fire spread normally fast. Number 13 is the intensity. The degree of heat given off by a fire and the color of its flame oftentimes indicate that some accelerant has been added to the material normally present in a building. and the investigator must look for further evidence pointing to use of such accelerant. Difficulty in extinguishing the fire is often led to suspect presence of such fluid as a gasoline and kerosene. Number 14 is odor. The odor of gasoline, alcohol, kerosene, and other inflammable liquids, which are often used as accelerant, is characteristics and often sometimes arsonists are trapped because of this telltale sign. Most of fire setters are inclined to use substance which will make the blaze certain and at the same time burn up any evidence of their crime. Number 15. Conditions of containment. Persons tending to set their house on fire frequently remove objects of value, either materially or sentimentally. Store and other business establishments often sometimes remove a major portion of their content or replace value merchandise with out of style articles.